Hi, this is Vara from Scrappy Mania, and in my last video I created this page and I used my regular watercolor Dollar and Roundy Aquafine watercolors. And one of the things that I didn't like about this is that you see where the watercolor kind of gave those streaks. I just don't like that because it's on a gesso surface, and I really don't like sometimes how my watercolor does not like seep into the page and you can see the lines. I do love the technique, I just didn't like as much the watercolor there. And when I tried to do her face, I actually had to use acrylic because it wasn't blending very nicely. So what I did is I went ahead and prepped this page, and this one has absorbent ground. And what an absorbent ground is a gesso, or it's a ground that you can put on your paper that will make it more like paper. It absorbs, and it's great for watercolor. So I'm going to go ahead and do another page similar, and I'm using this stamp by Stampendous, and it's called Female Face. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and stamp her down. I'm going to stamp flowers. I'm going to use this flower to put around her, and then I'm going to find another flower. Let me come back and let me find another flower to try out this technique. Okay, so I'm going to use some flowers, and this is from Stamp TV, and it's the Flowers and Frames set that she had like 6 or 7 months ago, and I like these roses, so I'm going to use this outline for the roses, and I'm also going to use this one as well. And this stamp is by Stampendous, and it's called The Look. And this dark comes with this stamp, which is a feather, and then a stencil. So I really like these Look stamp, especially when it comes with the stencil. So I'm going to go ahead and use this flower from that set, and I'm going to use these flowers from Stamp TV. What I want to do is I want to do a no-line watercolor technique, and I'm going to use Distress ink. So this is the first time that I used this. I found this at Amazon, and I can put the link of this doll. But I found it at Amazon, and it was $10.97, I believe. It wasn't too bad. And you know, by the way, these stamps from Stampendous come with this film. Don't peel it off. I was trying to peel it off the last time, and I almost messed up the stamp. So don't peel that off. You want to leave that intact. And that's going to adhere your stamp to your block. I'm using antique linen as my, is this antique linen? Yeah, I'm using antique linen so that way I can do that no line watercolor, because then you won't even see the image. And then later on I will, after I paint her, I'm going to go over with an outline with her. I'm going to stamp this here. And there you can see a faint little outline of her. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp her on this copy paper. And what I did is I used some of my repositional adhesive to give it a little sticky back to it. And then I'm going to cut her out. So once I stamp her, I'm going to cut her out, and I'm going to use her as a mask. And I'm going to do the same thing with these. I need to stamp some of my flowers, cut it out, and some of my leaves to cut it out, so that way I can do my masking. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I already got all my masking cut, as you can see here. And I have my stamps. Now I'm ready to stamp away. So I want to put some flowers on her hair. Now I'm going to go ahead and place her face mask that I created, so that way I can stamp around her face, and the roses will seem to be behind her instead of front. And I just want to keep on stamping using the mask along the way, so that way some of the flowers look like they're in front of other flowers. And then I'm just taking my watercolors and giving it a nice little background. Okay, so I'm back and I finished watercoloring my background and my roses and everything. And it doesn't look like much because once I start stamping it with the outlines, it's gonna really pop. And I do like this, actually, you know, using ground, absorbent ground for your watercolor works a lot better. Look at the color, look at the watercolor, how nicely and smooth that goes. And look at the watercolor here. So let's go ahead and see how it works once I stamp the outline and see how nice that looks. So I'm gonna first, let's see, I'm gonna need I think I'm gonna go ahead and stamp her first. So I got this stamping majig. I went ahead and stamped the stamp on here. And how this works is you put your stamp on the block, you stamp, you put this on first, then you stamp it. And once it transfer the image on this plastic, then you can position it right where you want it. Okay, position it right where you want it. You go ahead and place back your little stopper there. I'm going to use archival ink. I'm going to ink my image, and it works good if you have a stamp block that has a handle. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and remove, carefully holding down the block, you're going to remove that. And then you're going to go ahead and stamp. And there, see how nice that looks? Really does look nice. So now I'm just going to put an outline on all my flowers. I'm using the masking along the way just to bring some of the flowers to the surface and the flowers seems to be behind to give it some dimension. One thing that I really like with the absorbent ground is that the watercolor colors are being absorbed into the paper a little better, and they move a little better too. Now I'm using this ink. It's called Pure Joy, and I'll put the link of all the inks and all my stamps in case you really want to get some of this. But that ink really worked for this page because it was permanent and it did not smudge, and I really like that ink. And I got it at Costco for a pretty reasonable price. And now I can say that I'm done with this page. So I hope you like this video and thank you for watching. Bye now.